Hey guys, Maddie, and I'm back. Um, Still no baby. um, I am back down at my house for a couple of days so that Matt can go to work for 2 days so he doesn't lose his job. uh, and I was just thought I'd come down here and get everything ready for her because, um, so here's, I don't even know where to start with this. I guess I'm going to kind of give you like a full-on update without kind of all the details. And if you guys want details, you can ask in the comments below. But I'll kind of just give you like a full overview of what's happened in the last month. And I know I haven't actually made a face-to-face video with you guys, but it's been really hard to make videos. And since I'm in and out of the hospital every hour, every minute, and I don't really have internet connection where I'm at because of staying at the hospital. So, here's how, or what's been going on for the past month. So, on October 5th, I was going to go visit Avery, but Matthew decided to go before I did because I still had to go to school and drop off work and stuff. So Matthew ended up going before me, and then he ended up calling me, telling me that I needed to get down there because Avery's aorta in her heart, which is, for the people that don't know, the huge vessel that transfers blood from the top half of your body down to the bottom half. So they already knew, for the people who haven't been following me before, Avery, since she was premature, she was 9 weeks premature, she had lots of problems, like lots of already preemie baby problems, but she also had other problems because of stuff that was happened in utero. So every baby has a thing called a PDA, which is a hole in this, like, it's near the aorta, and it's kind of made of this muscle type, like, I don't know exactly what it's called, this muscle type material that it's made out of, where the PDA is. And once you're inside your mommy's tummy, it's open because you don't need to use your lungs yet. So it's open, but once you're born, like in the first 24 hours, I believe it is, it closes up because your body is telling you need to breathe now. So usually it closes up, and there's no problem with it. But in Avery's case, because she was 9 weeks premature, they didn't quite want hers to close, but they needed to because she needed to start breathing on her own because she is outside of me. So when it closed, that muscle it's made out of contracted like it's supposed to, but once it did, some of that muscle that is supposed to contract was attached to her aorta. So once PDA closed, it like encaved her aorta. So it was kind of thin. Like, your aorta should be nice and thick like this, but hers was like this because when the PDA closed, it contracted half of the aorta. So since that closed, it didn't seem to bother her. Like, it didn't. Her blood pressures didn't change. Her breathing wasn't affected. But like, it just didn't affect her. So they were kind of wondering why it didn't affect her. And then that day on was it October? Yeah, I think it was October. Yeah, October 5th, that day that Matthew happened to go to the hospital, they told him that it narrowed even more, which is really dangerous because if it closed all the way, there would be no blood flow to the bottom half of your body, and you'd probably have to amputate legs and stuff. So they caught it just in time, and they ended up transporting her that day to Fresno Valley, like this hospital in Fresno. And So we ended up being there, and she was in their NICU for 2 days. And they decided to be doing the surgery on October 7th. And so once they did the surgery, we were all waiting, and the nurse actually, she called me like every other hour and told me what happened and how she's doing and everything during the surgery, which is really nice because like we were all waiting to know, and it took about 5 hours for the whole thing to be done with. And so she called me and said that her IVs, because there's an arterial line in her, there was an arterial line in her left leg, but and they had to, it's like they have to make an incision and put it inside her and in her thick vein and stitch it to her skin. So because it's a really good vein, and you could put lots of more stronger medicines inside that vein, because like if you can't really put really strong medicines inside just a little vein that you can find. It has to kind of be in an artery. So so they put one in her left leg, and they put all the rest of our IVs on her and got her on the breathing machine tube and everything. And she called me after that and said she was completely stable and she was doing really good. And then she called me about like an hour later or something and said that they have started the surgery already and that she was doing really well still. And then she ended up calling me another hour and a half later saying that she was done with the surgery and everything went great. And so the doctor would be out in like 30 minutes or something to see me. It actually took him 2 hours to come out, so we were all like wondering what was going on, but she just had to get sewn up and everything. But there's two approaches that you can go to do heart surgery. One is going straight down and up and down right here on your chest, and the other one's right, it goes from right here and it goes all the way up your back. And when we talked to the surgeon before the surgery, I think it was 2 days before the surgery, when we talked to him, he told us everything that can go wrong, how he does the procedure, exactly how he does the procedure, every little bit of how he's going to do it. Excuse me. And he told me that he was going to go through the side approach, which would be a lot easier on her because he didn't have to do too much work. He just had to cut out the middle, attach it, and sew it. He didn't have to do anything else. So he just wanted to go with the easier approach. And then a couple hours after I talked to the doctor, they said that they let us in to go see her. We went to go see her, and she was so swollen. It was like scary. Like she was swollen, and then I didn't think it'd get any worse, but next day when we went to go see her, it was worse. I mean, you guys have seen, I think I posted a picture of her once she was swollen. If not, I'll insert a picture right here. And then like, I don't know, she just got really swollen, and then we were kind of just waiting for the swelling to go down, and waiting, and they said, well, it really shouldn't take this long. Like, most babies, like, stop swelling, they get a little bit bigger, and then they go down. So, we were all wondering, like, why she kept getting bigger and didn't really go down, and they ended up figuring out that she had an infection inside of her body. And they later found out the infection is called gram-negative rods. And when I looked that up, all I got was once it hit the bloodstream, it could be fatal. So I started crying like crazy. They didn't know what strand she had because there's categories of infections, and then those categories have strands. They trying to figure out what strand she had. And once they did, I cannot remember the name of it. It was some, like, serratia or something. I don't know. But once they figured out what strand they had, they gave her antibiotics for it. And she was on it. It didn't get worse, but it didn't get better. So they ended up having to try antibiotics again. So she was on the antibiotics before, and then they changed 2 of them and put 2 different ones on. Ended up finally working, and her swelling went down a lot. Then after that, they finally figured out where her infection came from, and it came from that arterial line that they put in her during the surgery, the one in her left leg, the one that they had to stitch in her. And I was kind of like wondering, like, okay, like, came from her. I wondered, like, where it spread. And then once they told me that it was in her bloodstream, it was growing in her bloodstream. It was like, I thought I read, like, once it hits your bloodstream, it gets fatal. And I ended up asking the doctor, like, people haven't died from it. Is it, like, it's not that bad, is it? And he said, oh, yeah, people have died from this infection. And I was kind of like, oh, my God, you do not say that. But I was like, dang it, she just got heart surgery. Like, she's been through so much already, and, like, you tell me that, like, crap. And I appreciate him for being honest, like, I really do. But it just kind of already scared me from so much I've already been through. But anyways, she started to look better, and her swelling went down, and she got off the breathing tube, and she was back on her nasal she's back on a no, she went from, they have 3 different ventilators at their hospital, and there's like a regular ventilator, I don't know what the other one is, and then there's one called an oscillator, where it just like kind of puts oxygen in you, and it makes the carbon dioxide come out, so it shakes like this. I don't know if I put a video up of her on the oscillator, like, I don't know, but it makes your whole body shake, because it's putting air in like that and taking the carbon dioxide out like that. So she was on that for a while, and it's kind of a big, scary, loud machine, but she ended up getting off that once her swelling went down, which is called the edema, and she had the dependent edema, I think it's called. It's where you lay on one side and all the swelling goes that way, like all the fluids. Because it was kind of weird when we walked in one day, and we noticed that one side of her head was bigger than the other, and we were kind of like, what the hell is that? And we asked the nurse, and she was like, oh, she just has a dependent edema, and it's where when you lean kind of to one side, all the fluids go that way. So makes sense. But so once the only swelling went down, she went from the oscillator, which is the one that makes you go like that, to a regular ventilator, which is just pushing air and making you breathe. And then after a couple of days of being on the oscillator, they put her back on the nasal cannula, the thing that she's been on since birth. Like, she was on the breathing tube for one night after she was born, and she was on the nasal cannula after that. And a nasal cannula just kind of pushes oxygen in your nose so that you can breathe deeper. She was on that, and then they took her off of it. And I was kind of like, isn't that kind of soon, like, to take her off of that? And she ended up needing to go back on this machine. I don't know. It just scared me, because I don't know why they took her off so fast. I guess they wanted her to just see if she could handle it, I guess. But I don't know. When they did that, she took one huge step back, and they had to put this machine thing that, it's like a little triangle thing that goes over their nose right here, and it like I don't know. It just looked like freaking Hannibal Lecter. I don't know. But it scared me. I walked in there, started crying. It was really scary. She was on that for a day or two, and then she went back on the nasal cannula. So she obviously just needed the nasal cannula. That's all she really ever needs since she was born, except after the surgery. And that's what she's used to. That's like how she can breathe. That's the best for her. And I don't know why they really took it off her so soon, but then she went back to being on to the nasal cannula, and IVs started coming off, and they took out the catheter, and just all this stuff came off, and then they're like, you can hold her now. And I was like, oh my God, no way. So I ended up holding her, and that was amazing. And then Matthew got to hold her, and it was amazing to hold her. And I showed you, I had put that picture. That was the time that I held her, that picture where her eyes open real wide, and she's smiling, and she has the pink little beanie on. Yeah. That was the first time I held her after her surgery, and she was just smiling, and her eyes were wide open, and she was just looking around, and it was, I don't know. I knew she was happy, and I was very happy too. Then she got moved rooms, and they put her in a different room. And this was like a couple days ago. Oh no, this was like a week ago. She got moved into a room with a joint, like it's a joint room when there's 2 babies in there. I didn't like that so much, but I guess that's just for staffing purposes. I didn't really like that too much because like there's 2 sick babies in the same room. Like, how's that sanitary at all? But apparently they pair up babies that have the cardio babies that just had heart surgery and have nothing wrong with them or nothing contagious. So they paired her and some other baby up that were compatible. And then she ended up moving rooms again, but I like this one better. It was a huge room, and she was by herself, and it was nice. And then they ended up moving her back to that room that she went with the joint baby, and that's where she's at now. But when she was in, I can't remember which room it was. I think it was just the room, no, I think it was the joint room the first time she was in the joint room. They entered a chest tube in her left side because she had built up so much fluid because they took her off that nasal cannula and was trying so hard to breathe. Like, if you looked at her chest when she was breathing, it looked like her chest was caving in, and like between her ribs. It was scary. And so they had to put a chest tube in her to drain some of the fluid, and she still has that in her right now, and that is the only thing keeping her in the PICU right now. So once she gets off the chest tube, she can go back to the NICU. But she has that chest tube, and she still has a lot of output of fluids through that right now, so they can't take it off of her. It's once she's not putting output through the tube that they can take it off of her, and she still is kind of putting out a lot. So they're back to feeding her again. So she's getting some milk. She's only getting 4 mils an hour, which is not a lot at all. Like 1 ounce, I think, is 20 mils or something like that. So yeah. She only gets like I think it's 3 ounces a day. I don't know, something like that, but not much at all. I am holding her now again. They took the a couple days ago. Sorry, I forgot to mention this. They had to put a catheter back in her because she wasn't peeing. So we happened to be in there when they had to put the catheter in, and I don't even think I've ever heard her cry like that. I don't even know. That was the worst. I started crying. Like, I felt so bad. I didn't even feel when they put the catheter in me when I had the C-section. I didn't even feel it because half my body was numb, so I can't even imagine how that probably hurt her, and it kind of made me queasy when they took it out of me because I wasn't numb down there anymore. I don't know. I felt so bad. I started crying like bloody murder. I felt so bad. They finally took that out of her. I guess she's peeing on her own now. So that's pretty much where we're at now. She still has a chest tube in, but when we looked at her chest tube, they put it on her left side, and I was kind of like wondering, like, wait, isn't that where her incision is? And I went to go look at it. I couldn't even see her incision. I was like, I literally asked her, where'd her incision go? And he kind of looked at me like, walked over there and looked at her, and he's like, oh, it's right there. And I looked a little bit closer, and it looked like if you were to rip like out a piece of your hair and stick it on her body, that's exactly how it looked. Like, you can't even see it. It's so tiny, and it's like already healed so good that it doesn't even look like it's there. So that's pretty much where we're at now. She is going to be 2 months old tomorrow, which is November, sorry, I'm so out of it. November 7th. So, and that is also her due date. November 7th is her due date, and she's going to be 2 months old on her due date. How weird. So, yeah. So, I guess after she gets out of the PICU, she'll be either moving to the NICU, or they'll either go to their NICU there, or they'll take her back here so she can be in our NICU and closer to us. I don't really know which way that's going to go yet. It depends on what the surgeon thinks. I really just want what's best for her. I'd like her to be closer over here so we could be home and get everything ready last minute for her. But if the surgeon wants her to be there, I'm not going to refuse. Like, I'm not going to say no, I want her home. I will let her stay there as long as she needs to, and as long as the doctor needs her to be there. I know it's going to suck, and it's going to be hard, but it's been hard since day one, so I'm used to it. So yeah, I think that's about it. I'm just going to be doing up her room for the rest of the night, and yeah, I think that's about it. I guess I'll do my favorite teen mommies video next. I know I haven't been on camera in a while, so I'm kind of excited to make videos. I haven't made videos in a long time. And well, it feels like. Anyways, so if you guys have like a video that you want me to do, I may possibly do it. So comment below, and I'll do that. Subscribe, whatever the heck that button is. My Facebook and Twitter are always in the like bar, or always in the description bar below. Yeah. I'm probably gonna enter a couple. I will also probably attach some videos of Avery at the end of this video so you guys can see her for her 2-month update, since she's not here for that one either. I kind of wish she would be, because I thought she was going to be, but guess not. She will be here for her 3-month update, I promise. Well, hopefully. If she's here, I will definitely put her in the video, no doubt. I would not do that for you guys. I know you're excited to see her. And I just wanted to say congratulations to Taylor's 1 year on YouTube. I'm so sorry that I did not make a video for you. I would have if I could, but I just couldn't even make videos when I was over there. I didn't have a connection or anything. And you're an amazing mother, and Jacoby and Elisana are so adorable. Yeah. So I'm sorry if I haven't been so like connected with you guys in the past month. It's been hard, but I'd really appreciate it if you guys left a comment or something, because I miss talking to you guys. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I will make another video for you guys. Bye.